Blessings. Welcome to my channel. My name is Taj Utsi and I'm a certified financial coach. I'm also the founder of True Financial Coaching, where our mission here is to help you to invest in yourself. And the way we do that is by educating you, enlightening you, and equipping you with the financial literacy that is needed in order to get off the rat wheel. What is the rat wheel? The rat wheel is when one is constantly financing objects that go down in value for them, but up in value for the banks at the same time. And when one is constantly financing these depreciating objects, then they continue to power the rat wheel. It's not until when one wakes up to see that they are the rat that's powering this wheel that then they'll make the choices, the decision to stop powering the rat wheel. And the way they do that is by financing objects that go down in value. Once they begin to realize that they're the rat and they begin to make the escape plan to get off the rat wheel, then they become free to do what they want, when they want, instead of having to do the things that they don't want to do. Today's video is the beginning of a series of videos on various types of retirement accounts. Now, as I've said before, and I'll say it again, retirement is not an age. The government has set various ages for individuals to retire, whether it's 62 or 65, and even now they're trying to up the retirement age to like 70 years old or in the 70s, which to me is ridiculous. You know, you've been working 50 years before you can retire and enjoy life on your terms. That's, to me, as I've said, that sounds like a prison sentence. But one can, with proper knowledge and proper application of that knowledge, they can retire when they choose to, as long as they, execute a plan, implement a plan, and stick to that plan. They can be free from the mandatory 40-hour work week. Again, retirement is not an age, but if one believes it's an age, then they're going to be tied to that job all their lives, for the majority of their life. Now, I'm not speaking against jobs. I'm not doing that because, if you don't work, you don't eat. But many people are tied to jobs that they don't want to be at, but they have to be there because of debt, because of lack of good financial literacy, because of poor financial decisions. They're tied to this job. So today's video will just look at one type of retirement account in specific, and we'll look at other retirement accounts throughout the course of these series of videos. The retirement account that we're going to look at today is called the Roth IRA. And the Roth IRA is a very special type of retirement account. We'll take a look at that, so stay tuned. All right, welcome back. What is a Roth IRA? Well, a Roth IRA is a retirement account that allows you to invest your after-tax income, and it grows tax-free. So according to the IRS, the Roth IRA, the IRA stands for Individual Retirement Arrangement. And again, this type of an account can be opened through any type of, brokerage, online brokerage agency like Fidelity or Vanguard, Charles Schwab. And what it is, again, it's an account that you house investments in, and it protects those investments from being taxed. So think of it like this. Think of the Roth as a house, as a building, as a structure. And within the house, once you purchase the house, you furnish that house with items, sofas, love seats, beds, television, etc. Right? The house protects the furnishing from any type of outside destruction. With a Roth IRA, the Roth IRA would be the house, and the Roth IRA protects the investments from being taxed. So within the Roth IRA, you can invest in individual stocks, you can invest in ETFs, mutual funds, whatever. But those investments are protected from being taxed because you're using after tax dollars to purchase or buy these securities, these investments, and as it grows, it's growing tax free, and that's a beautiful thing. So you're paying tax, like put it like this: you're paying tax on the seed. The seed would be what you invested, but then when it's time to harvest, it's tax free. And again, this is a special type of account, and I highly recommend to those that are interested in looking into retirement accounts, if you don't have one, that you look into the Roth IRA. Now, the Roth IRA, you can only contribute to it as long as you have taxable income. Doesn't matter how old you are. You can be 8 years old. As long as that 8-year-old has taxable income, they can open up a Roth IRA. But even under a certain age, a minor, under the age of 18, you have to have a custodian to do that for you. But again, it's the money, the investments within that Roth, the investments within that Roth grows tax free. So the earlier you started, the better. The earlier you started, the better. As long, again, as you have taxable income, you can open a Roth, invest into a Roth. All right? Now, there's some things that it's important to know about the Roth IRAs. One of those things that there are contribution limits, and the IRS is going to put a contribution limit on this because again, this is money that's growing tax free. Right? This is money that is growing tax free. So they're going to put, a limit on this because if they don't, my goodness, man, you got people that be investing in this, and when it's time to collect, it's all tax free money, growth, whatever, it's tax free. So, but because the IRS knows how important and special this account is, then they have these contribution limits. Now, as of 2024, anyone under the age of 50 years old can invest $7,000. That's the maximum you can contribute. Let me say it: contribute to the Roth. And again, as you contribute to the Roth, and whatever investments you buy within that Roth IRA, it has to be no more than $7,000. Now you can do it all at once. You can contribute all at once, or you can contribute over the course of that year, that tax year. Now, if you're over the age of 50, you get what they call a catch-up. Over the age of 50, you can contribute up to $8,000, and that's per person. So, if, for example, you have you're married and you have a spouse that doesn't work, well, as the working spouse, you can open up two Roths. You can open up a Roth in your name and also in your spouse name that doesn't work. So, if you do that, now you can contribute the max to those two accounts. So if you're under the age of 50, have a working, you're a working spouse, you have a non-working spouse, that's $14,000 you can contribute in that tax year. If you're over the age of 50, both of you over the age of 50, that's $16,000 that the working spouse can contribute to those two accounts. So again, the Roth is a beautiful account. It's a beautiful account. All right. Some other things that you need to know about the Roth. There are some income limitations. All right? There are some income limitations, and again, this is put on by the IRS because they know that if people that understand how to utilize these accounts to their advantage, is a beautiful thing. So in 2024, again, if you have a modified adjusted gross income that's above $161,000 as a single filer, you cannot contribute directly to a Roth IRA. And notice I said directly. We'll get a little bit into that after this next one. Um, in 2024, again, if you're married filing joint, then your adjusted gross income, your modified adjusted gross income, if it's above $260,000, you cannot contribute directly to a Roth IRA. So the reason why I said directly is because there's other ways that you can contribute if your income, your modified adjusted gross income is above these amounts. And there's something called the backdoor Roth, or you have a Roth conversion ladder. There's ways you can contribute to other retirement accounts and then roll that money over into a Roth. But that's for another video because that's, some uh, next level stuff. Some next level stuff. This is just the basics to give you an understanding of what a Roth is. But there are ways that you can get around this and still contribute to a Roth IRA. All right. Some other things to know about the Roth IRA is that when it comes time to withdraw, the contributions can be withdrawn at any time, tax-free and penalty-free. So notice I said contributions. So if you contribute, say you contribute $7,000, but then your earnings on that was $1,000. So you had a total of $8,000 now in that account, but you only contributed 7,000. So you can withdraw that 7,000, that amount of contributions at any time, tax-free and penalty-free, because you already would have paid taxes on that when you made the contribution. I wouldn't recommend that though. I wouldn't recommend that, and the reason why I wouldn't recommend that is because now you're killing your dollars from growing. So that would be an extreme emergency, right? Extreme emergency if you maybe had a medical expense, and then even with that, well, we'll get into that later, but just in case of emergency, like break the glass. But I wouldn't recommend that. But it is available to you if that emergency pops up. Additionally, if you want to withdraw the contributions and the earnings tax-free and penalty-free, you must be at least 59 and a half years of age, and you must have had the Roth open for at least 5 years. And if you meet those two qualifications, then you can withdraw the contributions and the earnings tax-free and penalty-free. Beg your pardon. So, but again, there are some special cases where you can avoid that. If, for example, if you're first-time home buyer, you know, you can use the funds for that. But I would definitely consult tax specialist, tax advisor, to make sure it doesn't hit you with that penalty if you're doing these things. But I would just let it sit, right? Um, because again, this is money that's growing tax free. Right? I would just let it sit, and if I retire, when you retire at that age or whatever age you choose to start making withdrawals at 59 and a half or higher, then it's going to be all tax free and penalty free. And the reason why I say, or whatever age you choose to make those withdrawals, is because there is no required minimum distribution. Right? There is no RMD, required minimum distribution. Some accounts, retirement accounts, at a certain age that you hit, you have to start making withdrawals. You have to. Otherwise, you're going to be hit with penalties and things of that nature. But with the Roth, there is no required minimum age that you can start making withdrawals tax free or penalty free. So if you're 59 and a half and you had that account open for at least 5 years, you can make that withdrawal without any penalty and tax free. But let's say you don't want to withdraw it at all, or let's say you want to wait till you're 70, right? 75, whatever. You know, there's no, they don't put a limit and say, well, you got to be this age to make withdrawals. That maximum age. If you Once you hit this age, you have to make withdrawals. That's not so with the Roth. And with that being said, this type of account is a good type of account if you want to pass down to your children, your beneficiaries, right? Because you may just let it sit. Don't let it, you have, just let it sit. You can die and you can just pass it on to your children. And even then, it still can be withdrawn tax free and penalty free. So it's a good way to build, as people say, generational wealth with the Roth IRA. But again, this is a beautiful account. It's excellent in building that, again, generational wealth, passing it on to your children or your loved ones or whoever, in your family that you name as a beneficiary. So, with that being said, again, that was just a very brief overview of the Roth. And as I mentioned, again, I believe that to me, the Roth is high up on my list of retirement accounts. We'll take a look at other retirement accounts that we'll compare with the Roth and amongst the other accounts. But the Roth is definitely a special account. But again, I will say this, with any type of retirement account, in order to invest in these accounts, before you can start investing in these accounts, you must first invest in yourself. And like I said, and I've said in the past, and I'll continue to say it, it's going to be very difficult to invest in any type of retirement account or any thing outside of yourself when you have mounds of debt, particularly high interest debts. That's very difficult to do because you got the high interest credit card debt, payday loans, car loans. Those high interest debt is the interest is so high that even if you try to invest in these retirement accounts, you know the interest is so high it's not doing anything. The retirement account, it'll grow, yeah, but you could just put that money to knock off that debt, and then you can start investing in these retirement accounts. But I do highly recommend that if you don't have any type of retirement accounts, that you start doing these things as soon as possible. Somebody say, well, I'm too old. No, you're never too late. It's never too late. It's never too early, and it's never too late to begin to invest in retirement. The earlier the better, yes, but it's never too late because, in the past, people relied on three forms of, income for retirement: Social Security, right, pension, and 401k, something like that, that the employee are offered. But now, a lot of uh, employers don't offer pensions. I believe I read a stat about 16, 17% of individuals, U.S. Americans, are have a pension, right? So that's a very small amount. Social Security, it's going to be hard to live off of that because inflation. And I remember being younger, seeing people, older folks, hearing stories of older folks eating cat food because Social Security, wasn't enough to take care of their necessities. So yeah, Social Security is like the icing on the cake, but the cake you have to bake. Because a lot of employers, they now making it where the employee now has to do their own investment in retirement accounts. So this is why you see older people working to their 60 in their 60s and 70s, doing jobs, not by choice, but a lot of them by necessity because they have to. Why? Because they didn't plan for themselves, right? They didn't plan ahead, and you can't look at retirement as some far off thing. Again, it's never too early to start. So the earlier you start, the better. And I'm telling you, when as people say, your future you will thank your present you. But one must plan now for the future. In the scriptures, it even mentions about how in the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25 and verse 3, it says, if thou hast gathered nothing in thy youth, how canst thou find anything in thine age? So again, it's never too early to start. And many people, because they haven't planned now for the future, when their future, when they've reached that future, then it's like, what did I do? I have nothing, So never too early to start, to save for retirement, to invest for retirement. Never too late to start. So if you haven't begun doing that, I highly recommend that you do so. But again, first, before you can invest in anything outside of yourself, you must first invest in yourself. And that's what we do here at True Financial Coaching. We help you to invest in yourself by educating you, enlightening you, and equipping you with the financial literacy that is necessary in order to get off the rat wheel. So if you learned something from this video, then we ask that you like it, subscribe, share, leave a comment if you have questions, and also you can visit me at truefincoaching.com to schedule your 30-minute consultation, and that way we can get you on your journey to being free. Peace and blessings.